In the early 30s, Peter headed the bill at the London Palladium, with such supporting artists as Flanagan and Allen, Sophie Tucker, and George Burns and Gracie Allen. During this period, Peter made several tours of Australia and South Africa. After his return to England from South Africa in 1935, he recorded some of the popular hit songs of the day, written by Gus Kahn, Irving Berlin, and Harry Richmond.
Trees, flowers, sunshine, and an open road. Stars, moonlight, blue skies, and an open road. The lowing of herds, frogs in the thickets, the call of the birds, song of the crickets. I'm the captain of my soul as I rolling along, heading for nowhere, just want to go where I can be free. Those skies are gray and rose muddy. I'll be okay with the sun, my pal, the moon, my buddy. Hand me that star, I'll hitch up my wagon. Let me go far from the maddening fog. Show me new faces, new places. I'm a vagabond who's fond of wide open spaces. Let me be me, singing my song. It's swell, it's grand, it's great to be alive and kicking as I go, rolling along. To go where I can be free. Those skies are gray and roads muddy. I'll be okay with the sun, my pal, the moon, my buddy. Hand me that star, I'll hitch up my wagon. Let me go far from the maddening fog. Show me new faces, new places. I'm a vagabond who's fond of wide open spaces. Let me be me, singing my song. It's swell, it's grand, it's great to be alive and kicking as I go, rolling along.
In 1938, EMI arranged for Peter to record Alfred Hill's Wyatt Epoy. To achieve authenticity, they employed a group of Maori singers to back him. Unfortunately, the group was overcome by nerves when placed in front of the microphone. After several unsuccessful tries, the producer called a halt for lunch. A couple of hours later, the choir reappeared, somewhat the worse for wear because they'd spent the lunch break in a nearby hotel. All fear had disappeared, however. Within a few minutes, the song was in the can.
Maori maiden brown, famed for poi play. But on winter name is blown, the dusky lightsome hay. On the winter name is blown. Here it is, poi parli di timbre patua. Watch a supple wrist and the boy twirl and twist. Hear the gentle tapping against the row rapping of this fascinating thing. Tiny ball on end of string of this fascinating thing. Tiny ball on end of string. Tiny ball, tiny ball, tiny ball, tiny ball. Hey, 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 ho. shakes as the body moves. That it is enchanted flex, such sweet music proves. Enchanted flex, such music proves. Hear it, by party clap the patua. Hee-ha, hey, hee-ha, hee-ha, hey, hee-ha. Watch a supple wrist and the boy twirl and twist. Hear the gentle tapping against the rope or rapping of this fascinating thing. Tiny ball on end of string of this fascinating thing. Tiny ball on end of string. Tiny ball, tiny ball, tiny ball. Tiny ball. Hey, 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 hey. Watch the supple wrist and the boy twirl and twist. Hear the gentle tapping against the rope or rapping of this fascinating thing. Tiny ball on end of string of this fascinating thing. Tiny ball on end of string. Tiny ball, tiny ball, tiny ball. Hey, 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 hey,
Peter was beginning his 8th tour of Australia in 1939 when war was declared. Although he was too old for service, he spent a great deal of time helping the war effort, entertaining the troops at army camps, and promoting war bonds. Jim Gussie, the former conductor of the Sydney Dance Band, recalls one radio show they did together.
We were doing a show, I think it was in the 1941, 1942, just after taking the band over. And it was Searchlights over London. That's when London was starting to get bombed and goodness knows what. And it created quite a lot of interest with the listeners. And Peter came in, and the finale of it was a big vocal finale, 16-piece wireless chorus. The band had been augmented. I think I got 3 extra players that night. And Peter singing this number, I can't recall the number. And at the end of the number, the idea was that I cut everybody off, and there's a silence, and then they cued the effects boy, and then there's guns going, planes whizzing around and everything. And I cued them, everybody cut off, but Peter kept holding on to this note. And everybody was absolutely stunned. And I'm waiting for him to finish. The producer's trying to cue the guns to come in. Peter's still yelling in the night, and he just came up to me and just whispered in my ear. His whispers were very audible at any time. And he just says, "I bet that frightened the hell out of him."
Round the world today, everybody knows it, everybody shows it. A little symbol to repeat in every way. V for victory all the way. Say it, sing it, play it, swing it. V for victory. Tap it, talk it, on walls chalk it, V for victory. Though we've taken hard blows on the chin, 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 in the end we are bound to win, win, win. So say it, play it, sing it, swing it, V for victory. There is a lesson to be learnt by us today. Let us realize it, everybody prize it. Let's keep our freedom and exploit in every way. Be for victory, come what may. Say it, sing it, play it, swing it. Be for victory. tap it, talk it, on walls chalk it, be for victory. Though we've taken hard blows on the chin, 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 in the end we are bound to win, win, win. So say it, play it, sing it, swing it, be for victory. Da-da-da-da, 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 be for victory. Da-da-da-da, 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 be for victory. Though we've taken hard blows on the chin, 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 in the end we are bound to win, win, win. So say it, play it, sing it, swing it, be for victory.
Peter Dawson with the ABC Sydney Dance Band, conducted by Jim Gussie. After the war, Peter, then in his 60s, returned to England to re-establish himself once again. Within a 7-month period, he gave nearly 57 concerts, made broadcasts for the BBC, and did several recording sessions for HMV. The British were amazed with the superb quality of the veteran artist's voice.
There's some folks who always worry, and some folks who never care. But in this world of rush and hurry, it matters neither here nor there. Be steady and realistic. Don't hanker for gold or gems. Be carefree and optimistic, like old Father Thames. High in the hills, down in the dales, happy and fancy-free. Old Father Thames keeps rolling along, down to the mighty sea. What does he know? What does he care? Nothing for you or me. Old Father Thames keeps rolling along, down to the mighty sea. He never seems to worry, doesn't care for fortunes of fame. He never seems to hurry, but he gets there just the same. Kingdoms may come, kingdoms may go, whatever the end may be. Old Father Thames keeps rolling along, down to the mighty sea. The best way, a heaven best way, just try to be always kind. It doesn't matter what the rest say, you're bound to leave them far behind. It's your job to do your duty, be faithful to all your friends, for England and home and beauty, like old Father Thames. High in the hills, down in the dales, happy and fancy-free. Old Father Thames keeps rolling along, down to the mighty sea. What does he know? What does he care? Nothing for you or me. Old Father Thames keeps rolling along, down to the mighty sea. He never seems to worry, doesn't care for fortunes of fame. He never seems to hurry, but he gets there just the same. Kingdoms may come, kingdoms may go, whatever the end may be. Old Father Thames keeps rolling along, down to the mighty sea.
At this stage, we should say something about Peter Dawson, the composer. He began writing as early as 1905, when he composed A Woman's Love. He loved to write of the open air, adventure, the sea, patriotism, England, and the Empire. Two of his finest Australian compositions, Lassiter's Last Ride and The Bushranger, were written with Edward Harrington. But perhaps his most famous song is Boots, written in the 30s, a setting of the words of Kipling. He used yet another assumed name for his songwriting, usually J.P. McCall. Here's an excerpt from an ABC radio broadcast made in Adelaide in 1958, where Peter talks about his composing.
Mr. Dawson, could you tell us, first of all, did you start writing songs from the beginning of your concert career?
Oh, no. Not until I was about 20 years of age.
And it's well known nowadays, of course, that you published them under the name of J.P. McCall. Could you tell us why that was?
Well, I thought at the time, Peter Dawson, had I given the name of Peter Dawson to all my compositions, if I was singing them on a program, it would look too bad. A song written by Peter Dawson, sung by Peter Dawson, recorded by Peter Dawson, looked too much to me like Home, Hope, Faith and Charity. So I stuck to this, thought of this J.P. McCall, and stuck to it ever since.
The name itself has no particular significance.
Oh, no, nothing at all. Nothing at all.
We're foot, slog, 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 slogging over Africa. Foot, slogging over Africa. Boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. 7, 6, 11, 5, 9 and 20 miles a day. 4, 11, 17, 32 the day before. Boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Don't look at what's in front of you. Boots, moving up and down again. Men go mad with watching them, and there's no discharge in the war. There's no discharge in the war. Try to think of something different. Oh my God, keep me from going lunatic. Boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Oh, count the bullets in the bandoliers. If your eyes drop, they will get the top of you. Boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. We can stick out hunger, thirst and weariness, but not the chronic sight of them. Boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Ain't so bad by day because of company, but night brings long strings of 40,000 million. Boots, moving up and down again, and there's no discharge in the war. There's no discharge in the war. I have marched 6 weeks in hell and certify it is not fire, devil's dog or anything but boots, moving up and down again, and there's no discharge in the war.
In 1949, Peter returned from England to tour for the ABC. His accompanist was Geoffrey Parsons. Over a period of 22 weeks, they travelled nearly 1,000 miles and gave 45 concerts.
There's a track winding back to an old-fashioned shed along the road to Gundagai, where the blue gums are growing and the Murrumbidgee's flowing beneath the sunny sky. my daddy and mother are waiting for me, and the pals of my childhood once more I will see. Then no more will I roam when I'm heading right home along the road.
Peter continued his touring unabated during the early 50s to capital cities and remote country districts. In 1952, he went to New Guinea and delighted the locals with his songs. In 1954, ABC Radio produced a series of 10 programs on his life called 50 Years of Song, the same title as his autobiography, which had been published 2 years earlier. There was a nostalgic farewell tour of England in late 1954, during which he made a final visit to the HMV studios in Abbey Road to record just 2 songs in the newly introduced stereophonic system. He was accompanied by the London Symphony Orchestra, and the conductor was the young Australian Charles Mackerras.
I had written him a letter, which I had for want of better knowledge sent to where I met him down the Lachlan years ago. He was shearing when I knew him, so I sent the letter to him, just on spec addressed as follows: Clancy of the Overflow. And an answer came directed in a writing unexpected, and I think the same was written with a thumbnail dipped in tar. Was a shearing mate who wrote it, and verbatim I will quote it: Clancy's gone to Queensland calling, and we don't know where we are.
With this stereo recording of Albert Ireland's Clancy of the Overflow, Peter Dawson became possibly the only artist to encompass all the major forms of sound recording from the turn of the century to today. They included 2-minute wax cylinders, 4-minute amberol cylinders, standard 78s, Hill and Dale discs, and finally stereo. Peter returned to Australia in 1955, and he and his wife settled in the Sydney suburb of Newport. He came out of retirement several times for radio and television appearances, notably on an ABC television program in 1957, which celebrated 25 years of radio history. His later years were troubled by ill health. At the age of 79, he entered a private hospital in the seaside suburb of Harvard, suffering from a heart condition. He died there on the 27th of September, 1961. For a final tribute to this great Australian singer, here is Peter Dawson's now famous accompanist of the 1949 tour of Australia, Geoffrey Parsons.
Apart from Melba, I think he was the most well-known Australian singer, probably for 40 or 50 years. Again, obviously in a completely different field from Melba. But everybody knew that he was an Australian. And this is an extraordinary thing because his Australian accent does show on the recordings, one can hear it. But the diction is so clear. That's another wonderful thing about every word that he sang was entirely obvious, and he had a great feeling for the words as well, and was very expressive in using them. But yes, I do think he made a great contribution to the knowledge of Australia as a musical country.
Through the woods and forest glades, gypsies love to ramble, tread the grasses dewy blades, bend the twig and bramble, free to roam the lanes and byways, bridle paths and lavish highways, journeying the roads and highways till the twilight fades. My garden the gorse, my carpet the flowers, I travel the road, who cares? My candle the moon, my pillow the leaves, my slumber the night. shares the lark in the sky to call me at dawn, the scent of the breeze to bid me good morn. A gypsy am I, a wandering by, I travel the road, who cares? Autumn spreads her perfume rare, russet leaves are falling, larks and linnets in the air, to the air are calling. To her bed the moon is wending, day to gypsy folk is sending. Skies are blue for that unending journey, who knows where? My garden the gorse, my carpet the flowers, I travel the road, who cares? My candle the moon, my pillow the leaves, my slumber the night, all shares the lark in the sky to call me at dawn, the scent of the breeze to bid me good morn. A gypsy am I, a wandering by, I travel the road, who cares?
To commemorate the centenary of Peter Dawson's birth, EMI Records in Australia and the National Library of Australia have produced a handsome 10-record album set complete with an illustrated booklet. It's called Peter Dawson, Ambassador of Song. Our thanks to Bill Robinson of EMI and Peter Burgess of the National Library, as well as ABC Radio Archives, for their help in compiling this program, which was written and produced by Rob Sharp and narrated by John West.